One of the retweets from the president also accusing you of misleading the public on many issues. You've been at the NIH since 1984. Yeah. You've advised 6 presidents. Can you continue to do your job when the president of the United States is publicly questioning your credibility in this way?
You know, George, I don't know how to address that. I'm just going to certainly continue doing my job. I don't tweet. I don't even read them. So I don't really want to go there. I just will continue to do my job no matter what comes out, because I think it's very important. We're in the middle of a crisis with regard to an epidemic, a pandemic. This is what I do. This is what I've been trained for my entire professional life, and I'll continue to do it.
To the charge you've been misleading the American public?
I have not been misleading the American public under any circumstances.
He has not been misleading the American public. That's interesting because they definitely misled us on masks. Don't wear masks. There's no benefit. Oh, no, just kidding. Don't wear masks because we're running out of them. Now it's please wear masks. Oh, no, actually, you better wear a mask or else. That's misleading, folks. We were misled. They misled us. We are on day 130-something of lockdown. They said, oh, 15 days to flatten the curve. We're at 130-something and counting, and it's not going away anytime soon. We've been misled all over the place, which anyone can plainly see. But here we are, being told more lies. We're not supposed to pay attention to it somehow. Not supposed to pay attention at all. I think that we're pinning a lot of hopes here on turning this whole thing around with the president and Operation Warp Speed. Play clip 3.
Operation Warp Speed is funding a historic portfolio of highly promising vaccine candidates. In addition to our $1.6 billion investment in Novavax, we've issued a $483 million contract with Moderna, a $1.2 billion contract with AstraZeneca, a $465 million contract with Janssen, and just last week, a $1.95 billion agreement with Pfizer. Tremendous progress is being made with all of those great companies. A groundbreaking agreement with Pfizer includes a guarantee to deliver 100 million doses shortly after the vaccine's approval, almost immediately, with the option to purchase an additional 500 million thereafter.
$500 million, billions and billions of dollars, all of it going for that game changer of a vaccine. Game changer, right? So let's hope that they are able to pull this off. Even the Fauci is out there saying, look, I don't want to get anybody too excited. Calm yourself a little bit. But yeah, it is possible, maybe sort of a little bit, there's going to be a vaccine at some point in the future. And then you're not going to love me anymore. You're not going to put me on the covers of magazines. I'm going to be very sad. Very sad. Play clip 5.
When I say I'm cautiously optimistic, I mean that. The reason I say that is that the phase 3 trial, as you know, started yesterday. The early data on phase 1, which was fundamentally safety, but it was enough for us to see the kind of response that this vaccine induces an individual. And it induced a level of antibodies, which are the proteins that fight the virus, at a level that was quite high in the sense of it was comparable, if not better, than what we see in the recovery from natural infection. And that's really one of the issues when you're dealing with vaccines. If you can induce a response that's at least as good as natural infection, that is a good predictor that you're going to have a vaccine that works. Obviously, the proof of the pudding is you've got to do the trial. It's a large trial. 30,000 people are going to be in the trial. That will give us the answer. And yes, I am cautiously optimistic that as we get into the late fall and early winter, we will have an answer, and I believe it will be positive.
Let's all hope so, my friends. We get a vaccine. It'll be hard even then for libs to lock us down and ruin our lives. Oh, the Democrat members of Congress did their very best today to go after Attorney General Bill Barr, trying to say that he is a a lackey for Trump, that he has no ethics, that he's politicized the Justice Department, everything they could think of throwing at this guy. That he's, ruining the rule of law in this country. I mean, you name it. They came at him with everything they had. And sure enough, it wasn't even close to enough. Bill Barr was slapping them around like the Incredible Hulk, bashing a bunch of, school children or something. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, they had no shot against this guy. They had no shot against him. I mean, it was watching a bunch of third-tier lawyers who have just been little quislings to the Democrat Party their whole lives, getting schooled on logic and reason and argumentation from a guy who, look, gets it done. And now let's get to a little exchange here that's an example of this.
I now recognize Mr. Chabot.
Mr. Attorney General, would it be accurate to say that it's this administration's responsibility, and of course you're part of the administration, to see that federal laws are upheld and that the federal property is secure and safe and protected? Is that correct?
That's right, Congressman. They're sort of distinct missions. One mission is to enforce federal law. And by the way, the federal government is the sovereign of the United States. We have two sovereigns here in the United States, and we enforce the federal law all over the country. Every square foot of the country, we enforce federal law. The other is protecting federal property, and specifically U.S. courthouses, which are the heart of federal property in all 93 jurisdictions in the United States. And we have the obligation to protect federal courts, and the U.S. Marshals specifically have been given that obligation. Federal courts are under attack. Since when is it okay to try to burn down a federal court? If someone went down the street to the Prettyman Court here, that beautiful courthouse we have right at the bottom of the hill, and started breaking windows and firing industrial-grade fireworks in to start a fire, throw kerosene balloons in and start fires in the court, is that okay? Is that okay now? No, the U.S. Marshals have a duty to stop that and defend the courthouse, and that's what we are doing in Portland. We are at the courthouse defending the courthouse. We're not out looking for trouble.
An intellectual against a room full of Democrat morons. And it went pretty much exactly how you would think it would. But they still bring this nonsense against Attorney General Barr. They still try to present this as though they have a real argument about his impartiality. And Democrats are on the side of the mob. These guys are a bunch of lunatics. They're trying to burn down federal courthouses, and they're pulling him forward and saying that you're basically doing the president's bidding, and it's all about his election. And are they not upset at all about? No, they're not. Let's see the answer. We keep asking these questions, and we already know the answer. They don't care in the least. Well, let's see how it went when Swalwell came after him.
Gentleman yields back, Mr. Swalwell.
Mr. Barr, have you ever intervened other than to help the president's friend get a reduced prison sentence for any other case where a prosecutor had filed a sentencing recommendation with the court?
A sentencing recommendation?
Yeah. Have you ever intervened other than that case with the president's friend?
Not that I recall. If you're talking,
does that seem like something you'd recall, where you would?
Well, I'm saying I can't really remember my first. If you let me finish the question, I can't remember. 30 years ago, I was Attorney General.
As Attorney General now.
No, I didn't. But that's because issues come up to the Attorney General within a dispute, and I had never heard of a dispute. I've never heard of a dispute in the department where line prosecutors threatened to quit
Well, it's a pretty
because
big deal,
because,
and they
because of a.
Notice the disrespect being shown to the Attorney General here. And look, we know it's partisan, but they won't even let him speak. It's like me on the Bill Maher show. They don't even get to speak. They talk over you. Oh, okay. Well, this is quite a discussion, right? No, not allowed to respond. We're just here to throw stuff at you. You're not allowed to actually answer anything. You're not allowed to push back. What the Attorney General does.
Mr. Barr,
over sentencing
Americans from both parties are concerned that in Donald Trump's America, there's two systems of justice. One for Mr. Trump and his cronies, and another for the rest of us. But that can only happen if you enable it. At your confirmation hearing, You were asked, do you believe a president could lawfully issue a pardon in exchange for the recipient's promise to not incriminate him? You said, no.
Not to what?
That would be a crime. You were asked, could a president issue a pardon in exchange for the recipient's promise to not incriminate him? And you responded, no, that would be a crime. Is that right?
Yes, I said that.
You said a crime. You didn't say it would be wrong. You didn't say it would be unlawful. You said it would be a crime. And when you said that a president swapping a pardon to silence a witness would be a crime, you were promising the American people that if you saw that, you would do something about it. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, Mr. Barr, are you investigating Donald Trump for commuting the prison sentence of his longtime friend and political advisor, Roger Stone?
No.
Why not?
Why should I?
Well, let's talk about that. Mr. Stone.
Notice it. Swalwell's like, oh, yeah. I mean, Eric Swalwell is a moron. I honestly think Eric Swalwell, I'm not I would wager he probably, if he has a 3-digit IQ, it's just barely. But he keeps going at him. He keeps coming at Barr with this nonsense.
Was convicted by a jury on 7 counts of lying in the Russia investigation. He bragged that he lied to save Trump's butt. But why would he lie? Your prosecutors, Mr. Barr, told a jury that Stone lied because the truth looked bad for Donald Trump. And what truth is that? Well, Donald Trump denied in written answers to the Russia investigators that he talked to Roger Stone during the time Roger Stone was in contact with agents of a Russian influence operation. There's evidence that Trump and Stone indeed did talk during that time. You would agree that it's a federal crime to lie under oath. Is that right?
Yes.
It's a crime for you, it's a crime for me, and it's certainly a crime for the President of the United States. Is that right?
Yes.
So if Donald Trump lied to the Mueller investigators, which you agree would be a crime, then Roger Stone was in a position to expose Donald Trump's lies. Are you familiar with the December 3rd, 2018 tweet where Donald Trump said Roger Stone had shown guts by not testifying against him?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
You don't read the president's tweets?
No.
That's another. You don't read the president. No, he's the attorney general, man. He's got a lot of things going on. Trump tweets all the time. No, he's not familiar with the random tweet that you pulled out of thin air. Swalwell, you abject moron. No, let's really dive into this. Get out the popcorn, folks. Let's really enjoy this one for a moment.
Evidence in the president's tweets, Mr. Attorney General, I think you should start reading them because he said Mr. Stone showed guts, but on July 10 of this year, Roger Stone declared to a reporter, I had 29 or 30 conversations with Trump during the campaign period. Trump knows I was under enormous pressure to turn on him. It would have eased my situation considerably, but I didn't. The prosecutors wanted me to play Judas. I refused. Are you familiar with that Stone statement?
Actually, I'm not.
So how can you sit here and tell us, why should I investigate the President of the United States if you're not even aware of the facts concerning the President using the pardon or commutation power to swap the silence of a witness?
Because we require, a reliable predicate before we open a criminal investigation.
Boom. Swalwell, you idiot. What are you alleging? Nothing that he has alleged is a criminal predicate. Nothing that he has alleged is any evidence of any crime, but he's calling for an investigation. This guy is the member of Congress who, after Adam Schiff, is probably most famous for the Russia collusion lie. And this guy's a moron. This is what you're seeing. He's actually dumb. A little more.
I just gave you, sir.
I don't consider it. I consider it a very Rube Goldberg theory that you have.
Well, it sounds like you're hearing this.
And by the way, if I applied this standard, there'd be a lot more people under investigation.
Mr. Attorney General, the very same day that Roger Stone said that, Donald Trump,
that's one of the
no surprise,
the true two standards of justice were really during the tail end of the Obama administration.
Mr. Attorney General.
Oh, you catch that one? He's like the 2-tiered standard of justice. Came at the end of the Obama administration. Like Hillary. Oh, Barr. Oh, dude, this guy he is saying what needs to be said. The truth. And he's not backing down with all of these total and complete morons coming at him on Capitol Hill. This is, just imagine if I wish the president I wish he had better people around him. I'm just going to say it. Because look what happens when he does. Look at what happens when he actually has a smart person in a position of power in his administration who knows what they're doing. Smart people. That's what you want in your top advisory roles. That's what you want running your cabinet, running different agencies, rather. That's what you want. It's not what he's really had, unfortunately. He's had a few, but few and far between. This is a reminder of how important it is.
Are you aware, sir, that Michael Cohen, after being released from prison, was asked to not engage with the media, including to write a book? Were you aware that that was going to be asked of him?
Was I aware?
Yes.
No.
Do you know if anyone else in your department was aware?
Maybe I should tell you what happened.
Why don't you tell us what happened?
Okay. He was furloughed from the Bureau of Prisons.
No. Why don't you tell us why he was asked?
I will
to
tell
sign
you,
an agreement not
because
to-
something that people don't seem to understand is that his home confinement was not being supervised by the Bureau of Prisons.
Now,
It was being supervised by the probation office, which is part of the U.S. court system. And it was the U.S. court system that had the requirements about
And
not
yes,
writing.
that U.S.
Oh, Swalwell doesn't even know what he's talking about. Oh, what a surprise, little Swalwell. Oh, these guys, morons. And Barr is just crushing them all. Look, I know we went a bit. We could do hours and hours of testimony today, but I just want to show you. They keep interrupting him. They won't let him respond. And look, I mean, he just has the facts on his side. These Democrats are completely out of line. They're insane. All this stuff they're talking about. He just keeps crushing them, and they don't care because they're not there to actually get to justice or get to the truth. They're there to make stupid speeches for their idiot constituents who believe that Attorney General Barr he needs to resign. Anyone who has said that Barr resigns is a good litmus test. That person is not very intelligent. If they really believe that he's done anything that is worthy of resignation. If they say that just as a partisan, well, then they're just a gross, dishonest person. But that he should resign because he's violated some department protocol, this guy he put on a clinic all day for these Democrats. I mean, they should get a bill from him in the mail. And these Democrats they're lawyers for the most part too, and they sit on Congress and they've got their staffs writing their questions for them. All nonsense. Now, I did have a tweet over the weekend, and I think I still stand behind it, folks, that even though Attorney General Barr is very squared away, I don't think the Durham probe is going to have any prosecutions of anybody whose name you know. That much I can tell you. It's not going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I rarely tell you that I make a prediction that I really, really hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong on this one because there needs to be an accounting for what was done here for the abuse of the law. And the only person that's going to get it done is Attorney General Bill Barr. There's nobody else who can step up and get that done.
It's time for roll call.
Roll call, everybody. Let's get to it, my friends. Let's get to it. Before I can jump into it, Producer Mark, I know you missed me tremendously yesterday. How did our friend Mike Slater do?
Oh, he's fantastic. Nice, on time. Bunch of other adjectives I can't use about Buck.
No, he's a very nice guy and very much on the ball. So I'm glad that all worked out well. And he is smart enough to live in San Diego and enjoy gorgeous weather year round while we hunker down here we still have the terrible lib politics, but it's very warm here. Our beaches are not nearly as nice. You know, the Coney Island Beach is not getting it done for me.
The beaches are nice, but Coney Island's a nice area in general.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying our New York City beaches are not up to San Diego standards.
And I'm trying not to think about winter because it's coming.
That's true too. Yeah, then you get to be at the beach in Coney Island. That's a whole different experience. All righty, we'll get to the. I want to make sure you go to bucksexton.com. We've got stories posted there throughout the day. Please make that a part of your routine. I also had a conversation yesterday with our digital team about T-shirts are coming, and they're coming soon. So get ready for that. I'll announce it when I can, when they're up and running. And Producer Mark, do you have any T-shirt slogans you want to add or anything you want to work in the mix?
Give me a sec.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
See, for those watching it or listening at home, he's making fun of me because I often have to take a moment before we do a segment on radio to make sure it's the most perfect and amazing radio segment ever. And Producer Mark is always watching the clock, telling us that we have to be on time, that there is a deadline for this. and so on and
I
so
mean,
forth.
I speak for the listeners of the Freedom Hut. They want the show quicker, and I'm trying to get it to them quicker.
That is true. You are their advocate in this regard. Otherwise, the show would probably go up at about 11 o'clock at night, and our radio stations would be unhappy because there wouldn't be anything to put on the air. So good to know that we do have to get it done, or rather, good to know that someone's making sure we get it done on time. Now, BuckSexton.com. Also, please follow me on Instagram, Buck Sexton. I'll be doing more conversations with folks on the Instagram, Buck Sexton there. We're using social media more than ever here in the Freedom Hut, so please do give me a follow. And, are we doing the best radio and podcast in the country? Pretty much, other than Rush. So you got to check us out. And with that, we will get into our roll call. 844-900-2825, 844-900-BUCK. That's if you want. People love the voicemail box. And producer Mark loves staying up super late to listen to all of your voicemails. So please send us
Today
some.
must be opposite day.
Yeah, call us as much as you want. And producer Mark loves it. He also likes it when you call him with any crazy theories about aliens and lizard people running the country and all kinds of stuff like that. That's what he gets really excited about.
I can make you not be heard. Remember that.
That's true. That would be sad. He has the power to mute. He could all of a sudden we'll just have dead air on the show. That would be
It's
bad.
going to become
for
the
everybody.
producer Mark show pretty soon.
Yeah. 844-900-2825 on that phone, and then on that voicemail box. And remember, teambuck@iheartmedia.com if you want to email us. Facebook.com/Buck Sexton if you want to send us a Facebook message. And you can also send us messages on Instagram now. On the gram, as the cool kids call it. On the gram. Okay. First up here, Arthur. Fast forward to November. Joe Biden wins the election. Now the pundits at CNN and MSNBC begin to realize that their entire content platform and messaging has to change. But to what? The celebration of bashing President Trump on a daily basis is moot. Trump's tax returns? Mary Trump's tell-all book? Maybe for a bit, but what then? What happens to their audience? Will they survive? Well, Arthur, the answer is yes, they'll be just fine, because what they'll switch to is how Biden is going to save the country by doing the Green New Deal and amnesty, and it really will be, even more so than a Hillary presidency, a Biden presidency will be a continuation of the Obama administration. And as we know, Obama was very adept at pushing us towards socialism. That is something he excelled at. He was excellent at making the country increasingly socialist and weakening our economy and doing a terrible job on foreign policy as well. Laughable foreign policy from the Obama administration. What's the big foreign policy disaster of the first 4 years of Trump? Oh, there isn't one. Oh, what a surprise. Charlie Buck, on your show today, you did it. You said Democrats' goal is to make America miserable again. Mama, a.k.a., or Mama, rather, a.k.a. the mommy state, I know, different than nanny state, but close enough, contrasted with MAGA. Keep up the great work and fight. Pull no punches. Forge ahead. Shields high. Charlie, thank you so much, man. And yeah, make America miserable again. That is the Democrats' unofficial, but I say basically official slogan. That is what they are doing. And they have no remorse about it. In fact, they really think that it's a cause for celebration on their part. So it's troubling to all the rest of us, but this is what we are facing, my friends. This is what we're dealing with. And I would like to see more, we need our pro-Trump meme army out there online. We need people making the case. We need the arguments for all this stuff. All right, John. On a recent podcast, you opined that newsreaders and actors had little credibility. I concur. Ron Burgundy is the ultimate illustration of that point. Shields high. Well, John, thank you for agreeing with me. I always like that. And I'd also say that Ron Burgundy is a fictional character, but based on the reality of the vain, stupid TV news anchor, which is a very real thing. There's a lot of that. There are a lot of vain, stupid TV news anchors out there who don't know anything but expect people, nonetheless, to value their opinions and think that we all have to listen to them. So, yeah. Let's see here. Adam, Buck, hitting on a point you've emphasized a lot lately. We are all like Superman sitting right at the end of Man of Steel, holding Zod in the headlock, watching as he is going to vaporize everything we know and love. Do we snap the neck and become the monsters they claim we are, or do we fight for just the standstill as the laser beam inches ever closer to all we hold dear, begging for them to stop? Shields high. That's quite a visual. Producer Mark, do you know what he's talking about? I actually don't remember that scene.
I think it's just the end of Man of Steel.
But I never saw that. Did you?
I think so, a long time ago. I think it wasn't one of the better there haven't really been good Superman movies.
Isn't that astonishing? Why aren't there Superman movies better?
Every other superhero has a pretty good movie except Superman.
Yeah,
it never took off. I don't know why.
The Superman franchise reboot has not been good. And I'm nostalgic for the old one, but it does look like he's wearing someone's kind of tight pajamas, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Christopher Reeve was good, but it's just very old.
Yeah, it's very dated now, you know? And the guy's not exactly going to catch the lead in the movie 300 with his chiseled abs and biceps either. I'm just saying, it was a different time, a different expectation. It's funny, if you actually look back at the old Adam West Batman show on TV, did you ever see that? Where they had the bam, pow, wham, they put that on the screen. You know what I'm talking about?
That screams 60s.
Oh, yeah, it screams 60s. And, Adam West, the guy who played Batman, he looked like he was enjoying plenty of martinis by the pool. I mean, the guy, we have different expectations now for superheroes than we did then. I'm just saying. I know. And he who lives in a glass house shouldn't throw stones. I spent a lot of time by the pool myself this weekend, and I was like, time to start doing some squats and push-ups again. That is for sure. I'm going to get on it. But Adam, yeah, I don't really have a good answer for your premise here, other than we got to win. We got to win. I know it's the most simple thing in the world. I know it's so straightforward. We got to win, or else what are we really doing? You got to ask yourself. Joe, hello, Buck and producer Mark. Lately, libs are going crazy about President Trump sending federal agents to protect civilians and help restore order among the riots. They call Trump a dictator, but I recall them cheering wildly when Obama said, "You've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded as the military." What did they think Obama was going to do with that force? Well, Joe, as you no doubt already are aware, Obama was to be judged by an entirely different set of rules and expectations from President Trump. So there's that. There you go. I don't know what to say about this other than they're completely shameless in all of this. They're and even pointing out their dishonesty is not sufficient to get them to stop this, right? Even pointing out what a bunch of absurdities they unveil on a regular basis. They don't care. They will just gaslight you. They'll say, "No, we didn't say that during Obama's administration. No, we didn't say that." So it's very hard to make any progress because they're just committed to power and to the narrative. They really, Democrats treat politics like a religion. I think of politics as a conservative as something that we have to deal with so that we can have maximum freedom and enjoy our lives. But I don't view this as something to be, I don't view politicians as people to be worshipped, and I don't view the political party that I affiliate with or that I'm a member of as an intrinsic part of who I am as a human being. Not at all, actually. Let's see here. Kristen, so if the bread needs to be detached to be a sandwich, is everything Subway sells not a sandwich? Boom, pow, wham. Producer Mark, take that.
Is a taco a sandwich? How about a burrito? Maybe a wrap? Any of those sandwiches?
I think we got to say that a burrito is a sandwich.
How is a burrito a sandwich? It's a burrito. It's just a burrito.
Okay, maybe not. I'm going to retract it. I think you're right on burrito.
Just like a hot dog is just a hot dog. There's no way of describing it other than hot dog. It's not a sandwich.
I still think a hot dog's a sandwich.
I don't think so.
I mean, Kristen has a good point, though, about Subway. That bread is still connected, my man.
Okay, all right. So maybe that argument is bad, but I mean, you can even make the argument that a hamburger's not a sandwich. Look at a menu at a restaurant. Are the hamburgers in the same section as the sandwiches? Are the hot dogs?
So just so I'm clear, so we understand, we don't have to revisit this, again when someone calls in and calls you out on something. I'm just saying, or writes in. The definition of sandwich is 2 pieces of bread with something in between that you eat. Is that right?
Usually, yeah.
Okay, we'll test this one out. I don't know.
And no, a lot of people are going to say, oh, if you split open a hot dog bun and make it 2 pieces of bread, is it a sandwich? Then no, it's still a hot dog.
Sounds like lib logic to me.
All
right.
Is an Oreo a sandwich? Yes.
It's a sandwich cookie.
Yeah, it's a sandwich. Hot dog's not a sandwich.
Do you know where the term sandwich comes from?
No.
The British Earl of Sandwich. True story.
Good man.
All right. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Earls. Sarah, we have more coming your way here. Hi, Buck and producer Mark. This is Sarah from Colorado, and I've been listening daily to your podcast since the beginning of the year. Love the show. I watched your Instagram live with Tallulah in your lap. Had to wonder if you held her there to hide the fat Thor. Wow. When my kids were little, I used to pose them in front of me when taking pictures to hide the mom pudge. Keep doing the good work, and I pass the buck every chance I get. Shields high. No, Sarah, I was not holding the dog in front of my belly. Good heavens. Good. See what you've done, producer Mark? Now the fat Thor meme is catching on for the Freedom Hut.
I love that everyone's referring to you as Fat Thor.
Yeah.
Now. That's great.
Yeah. But no, that is not. I just held Tallulah up in the Instagram live because I wanted you all to see what a cutie she is and how much fun she is. There's nothing beyond that. It wasn't to hide. I'll do an Instagram live without Tallulah. How about that? Yes, I have put on a little weight during quarantine, a little bit, but I know how to take care of it. Got to stop eating cookies all the time. Only 1 serving of mac and cheese after you've already had dinner. Things like that are probably important for maintaining a healthy weight. All right, next up is Maureen. Hey, Buck and producer Mark. Welcome back. Just have to say that while you were very missed, thought you'd like to know that Mike Slater did a fantastic job filling in on Monday. The content was just so spot on. He broke down Marxism and the education system and the infiltration and indoctrination of our kids so perfectly. Very informative and a pleasure to listen to and learn from. He's great, so please have him be your guest host anytime you have to be gone, which hopefully isn't too often, as a Freedom Hut needs you, Mr. Buck. Welcome back. Well, thank you so much, Maureen. No, Mike Slater's a great guy. We're old colleagues. We worked together at the Blaze, I don't know now, 6-7 years ago. And I'm just happy to see Mike's career continue to grow and progress. And he's just a really smart, good dude. And, there are, I'm going to focus on the positive in my fellow conservatives. I'm going to focus on the positives in my fellow, because this is not about Mike, about other people that I could talk about, but I focus on the positives. I like that we got a good team, the best team. The winning team, the best, the very best, probably the best team. Douglas, Buck, if the city of New York trained its police officers to employ certain techniques in arresting someone, and the police did that exactly as trained, but the city has declared the very method it taught is criminal, is the city guilty of aiding and abetting the very crime it seeks to punish the officers for? Douglas, that's an interesting question. I hadn't thought of it that way, but they would probably say the city has a kind of immunity against that because the law changed from when they had that taught to people. But I see what you're saying. I got to kind of, the answer is no, the city's not going to be held responsible for it, but I got to kind of think of the legalities of it. It's a thinker. All right, last one here. Daniel, hey, Buck and producer Mark, love your show. Must say your shows have, the shows you've done during the pandemic are among the best, if not the best shows I have heard from you or anyone else in years. Great work, guys. And as always, shields high. Daniel, thanks so much, man. Everybody, please pass the buck. This week, I ask you as a favor, to me, to Mark, to your country, darn it, get one person to listen to the Buck Sexton show. It's great on Spotify. So easy. Just type in Buck Sexton or on the iHeartRadio app. Until tomorrow, my friends, shields high.